This is truly my last warning. October 10th, 2025. The crypto crash and market crash felt around the world. This caused a massive ripple effect in people's lives and communities. Now, I'm about to share with you is just my opinion. Do your own research. I only tell you exactly what I'm doing. Please make sure you do your own research. But I'm going to share with you exactly why and what and how I do it. To give you perspective on how deep this crash was on Friday, and I'm going to share with you why I was super stoic and calm, is the pandemic crash had 1.2 billion in liquidation. The FTX crash had 1.6 billion in liquidation. And Friday's crash, October 10th, 2025, had 19 billion in liquidation. And I can't make this up. Go to my X account. I put an X that said 1929. There was 11,000 banks underneath the Federal Reserve. There was a massive collapse that consolidated all the banks underneath the big banks. The markets collapsed. Community banks were destroyed. And what do you think this did to the small exchanges? First they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it, Draper. It's the same game I've been trying to teach you since 2020. And this is why I have a very consistent plan, a consolidated plan. And I do not chase get rich quick, meme coins, and hype. And you have to be very careful with leverage. So all these people telling you to lock up your crypto and just borrow against it. Well, Friday was a great example of why that's not the greatest plan. Because you're always the exit liquidity. That's why I have a diversified plan. I study history, economic cycles, and I can't make this up. I talked about 1929 on Friday, and all of a sudden, after a big flash crash on Friday, 60 Minutes, go watch the interview. 48 hours later, had a full production on the 1929 crash, and Larry Fink on the back end talks about cryptocurrency is a new investment. He talks about, he admits, hey, I was wrong, and how they're recommending people put crypto in their portfolio. So from Friday's collapse to Sunday, just 10 hours ago, I'm filming this video. This is Monday. 60 Minutes had a full production, and they talk about the 1929 crash and then cryptocurrency on the back end with the largest asset manager in the world. I don't know. Call me weird, but do you really think that wasn't filmed earlier? And then we had a collapse on Friday, and then he talks about crypto on Sunday. You have to learn the game. That's why I'm disciplined. That's why I'm consistent. That's why I repeat the same things over and over and over again. And it's the biggest compliment when you say, this guy says the same thing every day. Thank you. You're right. That's what saved my family's portfolio. That's why we were celebrating, not people's losses, but we were celebrating the red where Warren Buffett sell investors. My warriors were calm and stoic. We bought that dip. When it's red, we buy. When it's green, we calmly exit. Charlie Munger says it the best. God rest his soul. Amazing, amazing mentor. I wish I met him personally, but I study all him and Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio. He said the thing that will ruin your family's wealth, liquor, women, and leverage. Friday was a great example, honoring Charlie Munger. There is no get rich quick. There's getting wealthy for sure by building discipline, consistency, and doing it for a long enough period of time to understand how to maintain that new paradigm. So I'm here to tell you that Bitcoin is the new gold. Save this video, please, and come back to it in 2030. I'm 100% confident. Bitcoin will be the new gold. You will have things like XRP that will be the new payment rails. There'll be many others, not a zero-sum game. The public and private sector are going to come together. And 99% of cryptocurrencies will be wiped out with regulation. So I know your favorite influencer's selling you this next best token, but I'll tell you what, just like the dot-com boom, just like the auto boom, just like the tech boom, always ends up with the top three. And those who held the line, those who stayed patient, had time in the market and tried not to time it, became some of the wealthiest people in the world. So Charlie Munger told you, booze, women, we're not talking about having a nice spouse, girlfriend, or loved one. We're talking about chasing women, being an asshole, and leverage will destroy your family's wealth. Friday was a great example. So get healthy, stop chasing hype, stop spending money you can't afford to lose, and study, study, study. This is my last warning. Here's my exact system. My top 7, not financial advice, just being honest. XRP by a long shot for my company and personally. Bitcoin is my foundation, number 2. Solana's number 3. XLM is number 4. WFI is number 5. HBAR number 6, and VeChain number 7. I got supply chain, layer 1, payment tokens, and the store of value, Bitcoin. I never will sell my Bitcoin. It's the most valuable asset that I own, the most scarce asset that I own that'll be passed down from generation to generation. I sell 50% of altcoins, and Friday was a great example. Everybody made fun of me when I exited when Trump got elected. 10% of 50, I hold 50% forever of my altcoins. I exited 50% on the way up. People made fun of me when I sold my XRP 10% of 50% at $2.70. Well, guess what? I just bought in under $2 on Friday. So you can watch these markets go up and down, building infrastructures. So that's my portfolio. I have a capital DR strategy. It's my strategy. Cash flow. I use my income, my profits to create cash flow, cash generating dividends and cash generating businesses. I take my cash flow, I run lean and mean with my bills. Anything outside of debts and non-negotiables goes into Bitcoin and XRP and Solana every single month. I store in a deflationary asset because your dollars collapsed 11% this year. And over the long term, my fixed supply assets go up. When I profit in fixed supply assets outside of Bitcoin, I pull profits. I hold 50% for legacy, and I took those profits and I stuff it first in cash value life insurance. The reason why you hear all the bullshit around cash value life insurance, because number one, the agents don't know how to set them up properly. They're called cash value. You need cash in them to make them work. People don't understand. It's the most powerful form of leverage in family bank. If you were leveraged on the insurance side, you wouldn't have got liquidated. There's no liquidation risk. You can borrow at 5% to buy more cash generating assets. It's the greatest tool in human history with tax code 7702A in my opinion. I use it. We use it, and we know how to properly set them up. So when I profit, I insure another thing too. Everybody's like, oh, go get an LLC, insurance. Insurance is the greatest protection ever. Nobody can touch it. Yes, LLCs are important, but also insurance. Nobody can touch it. So cash flow into appreciating assets. I profit, I put it into protection, P. Then here's how we use leverage and why we don't get wrecked and liquidated. You can use insurance. There's zero liquidation risk. Insurance, 5%, I go buy an asset that will pay it off. I beat the hurdle rate. On my Bitcoin side, only Bitcoin, is I will only leverage 25% of my overall Bitcoin portfolio, but I will only leverage to not buy more crypto like people did and got wrecked on Friday. I buy cash generating businesses or dividends that paid off very quickly. So when the liquidation happened on Friday, Bitcoin didn't go down as much as the altcoin, but my leverage is paid off already. I only leverage to buy cash flow that pays it off really fast. And I never go over 25%. That's how winning is done. Discipline. So this is my last warning in regards to this. I don't care what system you do. I don't care what you invest in, but you have to beat inflation. You have to understand market cycles. You have to stop chasing hype. You need to build a system. I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, Warriors, rise. Get your shit together. Love you guys.